Well, James Gunn gave a pretty exciting answer to a fan earlier today about Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, and the slate he revealed last month. Let's take a couple minutes to dive into that and talk about what James Gunn had to say, what he revealed about the future of the DCU, and how big Chapter 1 is going to be. Well, as many of you remember, back in late January, James Gunn officially announced nearly a dozen new projects to make up the new Chapter 1 of the DC Universe called Gods and Monsters. Now currently, this slate of projects includes 5 movies and 5 TV shows that'll start to come to HBO Max and the big screen in 2025. Now, he's going to focus on some classic characters like Superman and Batman, but he's also going to dive into a lot of new material, including Creature Commandos and Swamp Thing. Now, recently, Gunn has given multiple updates about the progress on some of these. James Gunn has given some updates on the progress of some of the projects in this slate, but it seems there are several more projects that have not even been revealed. Earlier today, answering a fan's question over on Twitter about what percentage of Chapter 1 had already been revealed to fans, DC Studios CEO James Gunn had an interesting response because he said less than half. That's right, the 10 projects we know right now make up less than half of the first chapter of the new DCU plan. Now, what this means is there is at least 20 projects associated with Chapter 1. And since it's less than half, I have to think it's north of 20, probably 22 or 23. Now recently, during an interview shortly after that Chapter 1 announcement, Gunn basically teased the idea of their world, which would be a world where superheroes exist and have for some time. He also went on to say that the story is much more planned out than the MCU was in early stages, and that Warner Brothers had been gathering teams of writers to work out the whole adventure. Now, after that announcement, Gunn did reveal a couple of interesting additional details about the plan, and how it figured into the 8 to 10 year time frame we've been hearing about. Now, what Gunn noted is that there are currently 2 chapters planned out for the next decade, and that this 10-year plan will close out a story, but not the universe, leaving the option for Gunn and Safran to stay on for future engagements. Now, what the second half of the DCU slate looks like, we're going to have to wait and see. Quite honestly, with James Gunn, it is too hard to pick. But we do know there's more than likely going to be a Wonder Woman project, The Flash has to exist somewhere in this universe, there's room for Aquaman, and James Gunn likes surprises, so I would look on the fringes of the DC universe when trying to figure out what he's going to grab. He's also made it pretty clear there are Elseworld type projects coming our way, and that leaves me with hope for some things like Kamandi the Last Boy, or other DC projects not very well known by fans, but we'll have to wait and see.